The bones of this house. The official family line, delivered in Mom's careful telephone voice to relatives, was that Gran had moved to a facility. A nice one, good care, difficult decision. To 12-year-old Leo, the words felt like bricks, neatly stacked into a wall between the before and the now. Before, Gran had lived in the sun-drenched in-law suite over the garage, a kingdom of lemon drops, crossword puzzles, and the faint, safe smell of lavender talcum powder. Now, her rooms were empty, the crossword book left open on the arm of her chair, mid-clue, 7 letters for foundational love. Leo had stared at it, the empty squares like missing teeth. The now was silent. Meals, once lively affairs where Gran would tell long, meandering stories about the town when it was all fields, were now efficient fuel stops. Dad chewed with the distracted intensity, his eyes on his phone, tracking some distant financial storm. Mom moved between stove and sink with a frantic, brittle energy, scrubbing surfaces that were already clean. Leo's little sister, Maya, 8, had stopped asking when Gran was coming home. She just drew pictures on her playmat, houses with too many windows, all of them dark. The story was that the facility was best. Gran's forgetfulness, leaving the kettle on, losing her glasses in the fridge, had become unmanageable. But Leo remembered the forgetfulness differently. She'd forget where she put her keys, but never that Leo hated peas, or that Maya meted the crusts cut off her sandwich, or that Mom's childhood dog was named Pip. She'd forget a name, but not the feeling of a cold hand. She'd always reach over and chafe Leo's fingers warm between her own papery palms. The hole she left was a physical presence. It lived in the untouched lemon drop bowl on the counter, in the missing creak of the floorboard from above the garage at 6 a.m., in the way the evening light fell uselessly on the empty rocking chair on the patio. Then, 3 weeks after the move, the whispers started. Late at night, a faint, rhythmic scrape from below. Not every night, but often enough that Leo, lying rigid in his bunk, would hold his breath to track it. It came from the basement, a raw, unfinished space of concrete walls and dusty storage, a place of winter coats and forgotten toys. He mentioned it at breakfast once. Hear that scraping last night? Mom's spoon had clattered against her yogurt bowl. Old pipes, Leo, this house settles. Dad didn't look up. Probably a branch against the siding. But there was no tree on that side of the house. The air in the home grew thicker, a stew of unspoken things. Dad worked later. Mom's smiles became quick, twitchy things. Maya started sleepwalking, once found standing silently at the top of the basement stairs. When led back to bed, she'd mumbled, "Gran's cold." A cold snap seized the town. The furnace, overtaxed, groaned. One evening, a clanking shudder ran through the vents, followed by silence. The heat died. Dad descended to the basement to fiddle with the ancient boiler, his flashlight beam a lonely star in the musty dark. He came up grim-faced. "I can't fix it. I'll call someone tomorrow. Bundle up tonight." They ate a silent, chilly dinner of microwaved soup. The scrape started again, clearer in the frozen quiet of the house. Leo saw Maya's eyes dart toward the floor. Mom stood up so quickly her chair squealed. "I'll get the extra blankets." As she passed Leo, he saw it. On the counter, by the forgotten lemon drop bowl, was a small, clean plate holding a single slice of buttered bread and an apple. It hadn't been there before dinner. Mom caught his gaze, and for a fractured second, pure terror flashed in her eyes. Then it was gone, smoothed into exhausted resignation. She swept the plate into the sink. The truth, cold and hard, landed in Leo's gut. The official story was a lie. The facility was a fiction. The scrape was not a branch. He waited until the house was a tapestry of sleeping breaths. He pulled on 2 sweatshirts, took his own flashlight, and crept to the basement door. The lock, which usually held a simple hook and eye, was new, a heavy, keyed deadlock. It was locked. But his parents, in their distracted state, had forgotten about the old coal chute door on the outside of the house, long since sealed off by overgrown juniper bushes. Heart hammering a drumbeat against his ribs, Leo pulled on boots and a coat, slipped outside into the biting night, and fought his way through the scratchy branches. The small, rusted door was stiff, but it gave. He squeezed through into the coal cellar, a small, earth-floored anteroom before the main basement. The scrape was louder here, and then a voice, faint, humming, a tuneless snippet of a song Leo knew. "You are my sunshine." He pushed open the inner door. The sight would be seared into him forever. In a corner of the damp, concrete-walled space, they had made a cruel parody of a room. A hospital bed with rails, a plastic chair, a bucket. A bare, dangling bulb was the only light. And there, sitting on the edge of the bed, was Gran. She was painfully thin, a wisp of her former self in a faded floral nightgown. In her hands, she was working on something. A long, smooth piece of scrap wood, an old table leg, lay across her lap. With a rusty butter knife, she was patiently, methodically scraping it. Scrape, shaping it. Around her feet, a small nest of wood curls gleamed pale gold in the stark light. But worse than her thinness was the rest. A chain, thick and new, was padlocked around her thin ankle. The other end was bolted to a heavy ring in the concrete floor. "Gran!" The word was a choked whisper. She looked up, her eyes milky with cataracts now, squinted. "Leo, is that you? My little lion?" Her voice was dry leaves, but her smile was real, an echo of the sun. He stumbled forward, falling to his knees by the bed, the cold of the floor seeping through his jeans. He touched her hand. It was ice. "Gran, what? Why?" "Shh, shh," she soothed, as if he was the one in distress. She kept scraping. "The wood, it's good wood. Oak, has a heart. I'm finding it." Gran paused her scraping, looked toward the ceiling, where the faint sounds of the sleeping house murmured. "Your dad? He's so scared. The money, it's all gone, like sand. The bills for my eyes, my silly head, it was drowning them. The facility cost a fortune. He said we could do it better, cheaper, just for a little while, just until he got back on his feet." She said it not with anger, but with a devastating, quiet pity. "He's my boy. He's lost." The pieces, ugly and sharp, clicked into place. The exhaustion, the whispers, the guilt that hung in the air like smoke. This was their terrible, secret solution. Not a facility, a prison in their own home. "They're starving you," Leo cried, seeing no food, only a plastic cup of water. "Oh, your mama," Gran sighed. "She comes down, she cries, she brings bits. Not enough, I think. She's fighting a war inside her own heart. It's eating her alive." The sheer, awful everydayness of it was the worst. The chain, the single bulb, the scraping of wood to pass the time. This wasn't a monster in a story. It was his father's fear, his mother's helplessness, made horrifyingly concrete. "I'm getting you out. I'm calling someone." Leo stood, fury and grief giving him a strange, clear strength. "Wait." Gran's hand, surprisingly firm, caught his wrist. She reached under her thin pillow and pulled out what she had been working on. It was the table leg, but now he could see what she was shaping. It was a spoon, a long, graceful, beautifully carved wooden spoon. The bowl was smooth as a stone, the handle slender and strong. "For your mother," Gran said. "She always loved to stir, takes the worries, stirs them right into the soup, makes it taste better somehow." She gave a weak chuckle. "Needs a little more sanding." Leo took the spoon. It was warm from her hands, solid, beautiful. In this place of despair, she had made a tool for nurturing. "Take it," she said, "and Leo, be kind. The chain," she rattled it lightly, a terrible, small sound. "It's on them too. They just can't see it." He hugged her, feeling the bird-like bones of her back, smelling the lavender talc, now mixed with dust and despair. "I'll be back, with help." He crept back upstairs, the wooden spoon hidden in his sweatshirt. He didn't call the police, not yet. Instead, he went to the one place that had always been a sanctuary, the kitchen. He turned on the light. He took out a pot. He found onions, carrots, celery, a lonely chicken breast. He began to chop, his tears blurring his vision, the scrape of his knife on the cutting board echoing the sound from below. The noise woke his mother. She appeared in the doorway, wraith-like in her robe. "Leo? What are you doing? It's 3 a.m. "I'm making soup," he said, his voice trembling but clear. He pulled the wooden spoon from his pocket and laid it on the counter with a definitive click. "Gran's almost finished the spoon for you, but she's cold." The color drained from her face. She stared at the spoon as if it were a ghost. Then a sound escaped her, a raw, shattered moan that seemed to come from the foundation of the world. She slumped against the doorframe. The commotion brought Dad, bleary-eyed and alarmed. "What's going on? Leo, what is that?" "It's from Gran," Leo said, looking straight at his father. "From the basement. She's hungry." Time stopped. The hum of the refrigerator was the loudest sound in the universe. Dad's face crumpled, not in denial, but in a profound, total collapse. The facade of the provider, the problem solver, shattered. He didn't speak. He just walked, mechanically, to the key hook by the back door, took a new silver key, and went to the basement door. They heard the deadbolt clunk open. Mom moved then, a sudden, frantic energy. She didn't follow Dad. She flew to the pantry, pulling down a can of peaches, Gran's favorite. She grabbed the softest blanket from the couch. She tore open a packet of oatmeal, her hands shaking. Leo stood at the stove, stirring the now simmering soup with the wooden spoon. It felt right in his hand. What happened next wasn't a dramatic rescue from strangers. It was a slow, painful, quiet unfolding in the heart of the night. Dad carried Gran up, so light in his arms, her chain left behind, a silent accusation on the concrete floor. He placed her gently on the living room couch. Mom tucked the blanket around her, fed her tiny spoonfuls of peaches, weeping silent tears that fell onto Gran's hair. Maya wandered out, drawn to the light and the feeling in the air. Without a word, she climbed onto the couch and curled into Gran's side, placing her small, warm hand on Gran's cool cheek. There were no more lies, just a broken family in their pajamas, gathered in a pool of lamplight at 4 a.m. with a pot of soup simmering on the stove. Dad finally spoke, his voice ravaged. "I'm so sorry. I was so scared. I thought I was losing everything. The house, everything. I thought I could fix it. I lost my way." Gran, eating her oatmeal, patted his hand. "We all get lost in the woods sometimes, son. The trick is to stop chopping down trees and start looking for the stars." The official story ended that night. A new, harder, truer one began. There were social workers, doctors, difficult conversations about capacity and care. Gran did move to a real facility, a good one, funded by selling the in-law suite, and a community fund that neighbors, sensing the unspoken struggle, quietly contributed to. But first, she came home. For 1 week, she lived in the living room, the heart of the house. The chain was gone, but a different kind of binding happened. Leo helped her with her crossword. "Foundational love," Gran mused one afternoon, pencil in hand. 7 letters. Maya, coloring beside her, didn't look up. "Family," she said. Gran smiled and filled in the squares. Family. Mom cooked, using the wooden spoon for everything. It stirred soup, cake batter, gravy. It became a totem, a reminder of the line between care and control, between hiding and nurturing. Dad, stripped of his pride, learned a new kind of strength. He didn't fix things, he sat. He sat with Gran and listened. He helped her walk to the bathroom. He learned to make her tea just right. On her last night before the move to the new place, they had a feast. Not a fancy one, but a true one. Mom made soup, of course. Dad grilled cheese sandwiches. Maya made a salad of torn lettuce and too many croutons. Leo set the table, putting Gran's wooden spoon beside her bowl. They ate. They talked. Gran told the story of the spoon, of finding the heart of the oak in the dark. "You gotta scrape away the hard stuff, the rough bits, the rot. What's left is strong. It holds what you need." The room was warm, steam from the soup fogging the windows, sealing them in a world of their own making. The scar was there, a deep and lasting one, but around it they were building something new, not on a foundation of fear and secrecy, but on the honest, weathered, durable wood of what remained. Love, flawed and fierce, scraped clean by truth. They had found their way out of the basement, not by running from the dark, but by bringing a light down into it and seeing finally what and who was really there.